They call him Jesus. He came to love, heal and forgive. He lived and died to buy my pardon. An empty grave is there to prove my Savior lives. Because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Because he lives, all fear is gone. Because I know who holds the future, and life is worth the living just because he lives.
Hello and welcome back. We're going to look at Genesis 47 and 48. And yeah, I think that'll be it. These two. Okay. Now then, I hope y'all enjoyed them other ones that I put up there about Joseph. Let's go on. Alright, 1. Then Joseph came and told Pharaoh and said, my father and my brethren and their flock and their herd and all that they have are come out of the land of Canaan. So they made it there, and Joseph is going to tell Pharaoh that they made it there. And behold, they are in the land of Goshen. And he took some of his brethren, even 5 men, and persuaded them unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto his brethren, what is your occupation? And they said unto Pharaoh, thy servants are shepherds, both we and also our fathers. Now, why would you go in and would you go up to President Trump and say, I'm your servant? I mean, to me, there's a big problem here. You're not supposed to serve man, you're supposed to serve Creator Father God. Okay? So there's a big problem here to me with this. Okay? Number 4. And they said moreover unto Pharaoh, for to sojourn in the land are we come, for thy servants have no pasture for their flock, for the famine is sore in the land of Canaan. Now therefore, we pray thee, let thy servants dwell in the land of Goshen. And Pharaoh spoke unto Joseph, saying, thy father and thy brethren are coming to thee, and the land of Egypt is before thee. In the best of the land make thy father and brethren do well. In the land of Goshen let them dwell, and if thou knowest any man of activity among them, then take them rulers over my cattle. So he's saying, make them rulers over the cattle, my cattle, so they could take care of them. 7. And Joseph brought in Jacob his father, and set him before Pharaoh. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh. Wait a minute. Why did Jacob bless Pharaoh? Okay. Alright, number 8. And Pharaoh said unto Jacob, how old art thou? And Jacob said unto Pharaoh, the days of the years of my pilgrims are 130 years. Few and evil had the days of the years of my life been, and have not attended unto the days of the years of the life of my father in the days of their pilgrims. Now, what he is saying here is, the days that I've lived here, it's more eviler, is what he is saying. So, he's 130 years old. And I have to say that to give reverence to a man and make him higher than you, there's a problem there. And as you could tell, he went by Jacob, not Israel. Okay? Jacob, I'm on 10, and Jacob blessed Pharaoh and went out from before Pharaoh. And Joseph placed his father and his brethren and gave them the possessions in the land of Egypt and the best of the land in the land of Rameses, as Pharaoh had commanded. Now, I want to ask you this. Think about this. What if there was somebody else in that land? Did they make them move out? The Bible doesn't say so, but that is something that that I wonder. All right, 12. And Joseph nourished his father and his brethren and all his father's household with bread according to their family. And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by the reason of the famine. Now, here, if you look, us people out here, we're not going to have nothing at all to eat. Okay, we're not going to be able to get any food. But yet, President Trump and all them croonies up there, those Satanists up there, they're going to be able to get it. I know what y'all going to say. Don't leave me no nasty comments. If you can't keep up with the world, it's not my fault. You go look it up. Now, today when he had his address of a nation, I didn't watch all of it. I just watched probably about 15 seconds, not minutes, seconds. And I noticed he did not have his pin of the flag on like the presidents usually have. And I'm like, why in the world does he not have that pin on? Well, if you look, the government's been shut down for 2 weeks now, almost 2 weeks now. But yet our taxes are being taken out and everything. And the next thing you know, they're going to be cutting all the food stamps and everything to where people's going to be, they're going to be hurting. So, if you can stock up on food, whatever you can, do it now. Alright, now I'm on 14. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and the land of Canaan for the corn which they bought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. So, why would Joseph, do all this? He took away from the people, made them buy it back. So that's not, I wouldn't call that good. 15. And when the money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came to Joseph and said, "Give us bread, for why should we die in the presence, for the money faileth." Now, we are going to have money fail us. Anything that is not real is going to fall. Okay? I mean, that's the way God put nature to do so. So God rules that. So everything that is not real is going to collapse. Do you know how to take care of yourself? Really, it's very simple. Rely on God and listen to what God says as you move along in life. 16. And Joseph said, Give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle if money fails. Okay, if the money ain't working, then give me your cattle. So what are they doing? They're still taking from the people. So why did all these people go into captivity after Joseph died? Because Joseph set it up for all the people to go into captivity. So this is the prophet of the Antichrist. I'm saying he's the Antichrist. He is the Antichrist because he would not do it if it wasn't for the greed and all and position that he's in. I tell you what, the higher the power you are, the more greedier and everything you are. If you stay humble and in the graces of God, you're better off. I have been told that I am after money. How can I be after money? I don't continue to push money on people. I don't push people to comment or subscribe or like. That is totally up to you, the individual. All right, 17. And they brought their cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses, and for flock, and for cattle of the herd, and for the asses. And he fed them with bread for all their cattle that year. So he took everything. It took him a year to get all these people's cattle and everything. So what is the people supposed to do from there? I mean, they were meat in those cattle. There's milk in those cattle. There's butter in those cattle. There's, all kinds of things that people used back then in that cattle. 18. And when that year was ended, they came into him the second year and said unto them, we will not hide it from my Lord. See, they're calling him a Lord. How our money is spent. My Lord also hath a herd of cattle, and there is not enough left in the sight of my Lord, but our bodies and our lands. So you have nothing left but your land and your body. And your body and land go combination together, because you are made up of the dirt of the ground. So you are a land too. Okay. 19. Wherefore shall we die before thy eyes? Do you think he's really going to care? I don't think he will. But he is a greedy. And I'll stop it there. Both we and our land. Buy us and our land for bread. So now the people are giving up their land and their bodies. Just think how much money that is. You can't put a price on a soul because it really don't belong to you. Whether you are for Jesus Christ or against Jesus Christ, your soul still does not belong to you. Because he's going to do with it what he wants. If you serve him, he'll keep your soul. And if you don't serve him, he's going to burn your soul. Okay? All right. I'm going to start over because I lost where I was at. Wherefore, we shall die before thy eyes, both we and our land. Buy us and our land for the bread. And we and our land will be servants unto Pharaoh. And give us seed that we may live and not die, that the land be not desolate. In other words, they're saying, give us some seed, we'll plant the seed, and everything from it's going to go to you. Well, we know what happens with that. When the government gets involved with the seeds and all, what happens? Now, I'm going to tell you, there is somewhere in here where they have already played with the seed and messed up the seeds and everything. So, I don't know if you guys know or not, but there is it's called an ark. And before they started geoengineering these seeds, they stored seeds up in this cave. And there are good seeds there that has not been touched by, say, man's scientific ways. That's not, been with this geoengineering crap in it. They're changing things. Okay, that's another subject. Let's go on. 20. And Pharaoh bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh. And Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh. For the Egyptians sold every man his field, because the famine prevailed over them. So the land became Pharaoh's. So see, the government has taken over all the land. Do you not think if you have a house and it's supposed to be yours, you need to go back and find out. You are the tenant. You do not own your house. If you did own your house, why are you still paying rent every year by taxes? Okay. 21. And as for the people, he removed them to cities from one end of the borders of Egypt even to another end thereof. Only the land of the present brought he not. Wait a minute. Only the land of the priest bought he not. For the priest had the portion assigned them of Pharaoh, and did eat their portion which Pharaoh gave them. Therefore they sold not their land. And Joseph, okay, now let's go look at this. The priest. The priest didn't have to send anything. This is supposed to be God's people. Okay? They didn't have to sell their land. They got their portion no matter what. So there's a big old question mark there too. And I'll let y'all just think about that. 23. And Pharaoh said unto the people, Behold, I have brought you this day, and your land for Pharaoh. Lo, here is seed for you, and ye shall sow the land. So now he's giving them the seed. If the famine must be over, and it's time to plant seed. And it shall come to pass in the increase that ye shall give the 5th part unto Pharaoh, and 4 parts shall be your own, for the seed of the field, and for your food, and for them of your household, and for food for your little ones. So, let's just look at this. The 5th part, half of it, you give to Pharaoh. Okay? It's going to be his. So they have a 4 part, okay? That's going to be for food. And 1 part of it is going to go back into the ground and reharvest, okay? Alrighty. 25. And they said, Thou hast saved our lives. Let us find grace in the sight of my Lord, and we will be Pharaoh's servants. And Joseph made it a law over the land of Egypt until this day, that Pharaoh should have a 5th part, except the land of the priest only, which became not Pharaoh's. So it is still, you go to work, and you work, 2 weeks. How much are they taking out for taxes? It's still going on today. All right, 27. And Israel, here we go, getting spiritual here now, dwelt in the land of Egypt, in the country of Goshen, and they had possessions therewith, and grew and multiplied exceedingly. And Jacob, now one was spiritual, they multiplied. All right, 28. And Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years. So the whole age of Jacob was 147 years. And the time drew nigh that Israel must die. And he called his son Joseph, and said unto him, If now I have found grace in thy sight, put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh, and deal kindly and truly with me. Bury me not, I pray thee, in Egypt. Take me back home. Look at it this way. A slave that doesn't know it's a slave is a good slave. 30. And I will lie with my father, and thou shalt carry me out of Egypt. and bury me in the burying place. And he said, I will do as thou hast said. And he said, swear unto me. And he swore unto him. And Israel bowed himself upon the bed's head. So in other words, he lay down, and after a while, he died. But I want you to look. You're not supposed to swear. You cannot make a promise. Something like that. You can't. But who can? The people that are rich. Can you make that promise to one of your dad or your mom and all? No, I don't think you can. Okay. Now we are on 48. And it came to pass after these things that one told Joseph, behold, thy father is sick. And he took with him his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. And one told Jacob and said, behold, thy son Joseph cometh unto thee. And Israel strengthened himself and sat upon the bed. And Jacob said unto Joseph, God Almighty appeared unto me at Luz in the land of Canaan, and blessed me, and said unto me, behold, I will make thee fruitful and multiply thee, and I will make of thee a multitude of people, and I will give this land to thy seed after thee, and for an everlasting possession. Now this is back in Canaan, and now he's not in Canaan. Number 5, and now thy two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, which were born unto thee in the land of Egypt before I came unto thee into Egypt, are mine. Now, he's saying these are my kids as well. And Reuben and Simeon, they shall be mine. And thy issue, which thou biddest after them, shall be thine. In other words, these two are mine. Anything after this belongs to you. And shall be called after the name of their brethren in their inheritance. So in other words, you're going to have to name them the same as the other kids. The older one, Reuben and Simeon. Okay? And as for me, when I come from Padan, Rachel died by me in the land of Canaan in the way when yet there was but a little way to come unto Ephrath. And I buried her there in the way of Ephrath. The name is Bethlehem. So she was buried in Bethlehem. And Israel beheld Joseph's son and said, who are these? And Joseph said unto his father, they are my sons, whom God hath given me in this place. And he said, bring them, I pray thee, unto me, and I will bless them. Now the eyes of Israel dimmed for age, so that he could not see, and he brought them near unto him, and he kissed them and embraced them. And Israel said unto Joseph, I have not thought to see thy face, and lo, God showed me unto thy seed. And Joseph brought them out from between his knees, and he bowed himself with the face to the earth. Okay? Oh, we got a cat one now. There you go. Alright, 13. And Joseph took them both, Ephraim in his right hand towards Israel's left hand, and Manasseh in his left hand towards Israel's right hand, and brought them near unto him. In other words, he made sure that when he put his hands on the children, that his right hand, which is the biggest blessing, and his left hand, which is a weaker blessing. All right. And Israel stretched out his right hand and laid it upon Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and his left hand upon Manasseh's head, guiding his hand wittily, for Manasseh was the firstborn. And he blessed Joseph and said, God, before whom my father Abraham and Isaac did walk, the God which fed me and my life along unto this day. The angel which redeemed me from all evil, bless the lad, and let my name be named on them, and the name of my father Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. And when Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand upon Ephraim, he displeased him, and he held up his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head and unto Manasseh's head. And Joseph said unto his father, Not so, my father, for this is the firstborn, but thy right hand upon his head. And his father refused and said, I know it, my son, I know it. He also shall become a people, and he also shall be great. But truly, this younger brother shall be greater than he, and his seed shall become a multitude of nations. And he blessed them that day, saying, In thee shall Israel bless, saying, God make thee as Ephraim and Manasseh. And he set Ephraim before Manasseh. And Israel said unto Joseph, Behold, I die, but God shall be with you, and bring you again into the land of your fathers. Moreover, I have given to thee one portion above thy brother, which I took out of the hand of the Amorite with my sword and with my bow. Alright, we are on 49. So I'm going to quit there. And this is getting interesting. We got 2 more in Genesis. And then we go into the next book, which will be Exodus. This is how to donate to my PayPal. You come down here to Poor Man's Sewing, and you mash on Poor Man's Sewing. Then you go over here to About. You mash on About. And right here is to donate to Poor Man's Sewing.